What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of In My Feelings. I know I've been gone for a long time, but I'm back, at least for this episode. Man, your boy done survived the hurricane. Your boy survived Hurricane Milton. And I'm going to tell you, Milton was a very disrespectful. First of all, it's a disrespectful name. I ain't never known a Milton that did anything good in life. And this name proved to be true with this hurricane. And I'm going to let y'all know, this is why I was so devastated with this hurricane. The power, let you know, the power's still off at my parents' crib, and me and my wife's crib in Florida. Power's still off. No internet. The power's supposed to come back on today. We'll see if that actually happens. But this is what was so devastating about it, man. We had just had a Hurricane Helene, and that didn't even hit us, but it still caused like flooding and stuff like that in the city, in certain areas of the city. So that went by. I was like, thank God we got through that hurricane. We are so blessed. And then not even 2 weeks later, Milton came and socked the shit out of everybody. Man, I'm talking about down trees. I'm talking about down power lines. Man, trees falling on people's houses. Luckily, they said something about the hurricane. It was going a different direction, like the way it was spinning or something. So it was actually pulling water out of the ocean instead of bringing it to like land or whatever. So we didn't get any flooding in our area. Thank God, man, because we had to evacuate our house. Anybody that don't know, he had to evacuate my house. Some people was asking me like why I didn't leave St. Petersburg. You got to understand. A hurricane hasn't hit the Tampa Bay area since 1921. 1921. My goofy ass had to buy a house in St. Pete 3 years ago in multifamily property. So I got two pieces of real estate. I got my personal home and the multifamily property that I own, both residing in the Tampa Bay area, in my parents' crib, in some of my cousins, in some of my friends. So, you know, all of that is going on in my mind, but definitely like the multifamily property because that's like my main source of income. That residual money started to trickle out, you know, which residuals is bullshit in the first place because, you know, we only get paid what they tell us. You know, we don't really know how much money they're making on a show. And then they're like, you get $12. It's like, really? You get $1 million per episode per territory and syndication? And I'm getting $12, make that make sense, you know, or even if it's $300, it's still BS. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. So the hurricane came, man. We had to evacuate. So that's one reason why we didn't leave the city. Then my house was in an evacuation zone. My parents' house was not in an evacuation zone. So we had to evacuate. We went to my parents' house because my parents at least have a generator. And I told my parents a few years ago, I'm like, y'all need to get a generator because, you know, our power at my parents' house is always going out our entire life. I'm like, we need to get a generator. So my parents got a generator a couple years ago. Thank God they did. Because like I said, as of this date, the storm happened last Wednesday. This is now Tuesday when I'm doing this. I'm dating this, but it's now Tuesday. And it's almost been a full week, no power still. So thank God they got that generator. So that night of the storm, it was I wasn't really scared. I was just concerned about the house because we got a pool at my house, and I was concerned about it overflowing. But we put the sandbags out. We had to put like tarp or whatever over the door. We did weather strips. Anybody go through this? We did weather strips first on the doors. Then we took like this like trash bag or whatever and put that over the weather strips and taped that down. Then we put sandbags on top of that to like really try to do our best to make sure no flooding happened. So we did all of that. Went to my parents' house the night of the storm, and it's crazy because right before a hurricane it's so clear. You know, the sun is kind of out a little bit, and then slowly it starts to get gray. The wind slowly starts to pick up. Then it just starts it starts just trickling, just a little bit of water, little sprinkles in it, and then 100-mile-per-hour winds, yo. 102-mile-per-hour winds. Luckily, my parents had storm shutters on their house, but you could hear this wind, man. It's like And then my homeboy called me. My homeboy Justin Mitchell called me. He was like, "Why you in St. Pete? I just found out." I'm like, "Bro," he was like, you in the eye of the storm. You gotta go." I'm like, "Bruh, the storm is here. Like, we can't leave now. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, "Bruh, if I go outside, I'm getting swept away. If I step outside my house right now, it's gonna be wee. I'm out of here, bruh." So I'm like, "What the fuck?" He got somebody on the phone. His homeboy was like, "Hey, bruh, let me tell you, bruh." His homeboy, I guess, work with the city. So he's like, "Let me tell you, bruh. If you step outside, bruh, if you see that water creeping in, bruh, it's going to creep in around by 2, 3 in the morning, bruh. When that water if it creep in, bruh, get in the attic. And then after the attic, if it keep going, you get to the roof. You take a hatchet and you knock your way through the roof and you get on top of that roof," which was good advice. It was good advice. And my homeboy Justin told me, he said, "You need to leave a voicemail with your address or wherever you go be at in case the phone lines go out." It was a good piece of information. We didn't do that, but my dad did have a hatchet just in case we needed it. Luckily, like I said, we didn't have no flooding and we didn't have to go through the ceiling up to the roof. It wasn't like Hurricane Katrina, at least this time, so we made it through, thankfully. But it's like, I appreciated the people reaching out to me, and I'm going to get to that. I appreciate the people that was reaching out to me, like my homeboy Justin. But at the same time, his name Justin also. But at the same time, it's like, you also causing panic, too, because I'm like, well, shit, I'm kind of calm and, like, level-minded right now. And then I'm getting the phone call like, you gonna die. What the fuck? You gonna die. So I'm like, yo. I'm like, bro, I think we're going to make it through, because I knew my parents, where they stay at, is in a higher elevated level of St. Petersburg. So I was like, I think we'll be okay. I'm like, if my parents flood, Jesus is coming back. If my parents' house flood, because I just kind of know the city. And I'm like, if my parents' house flood, my parents' house kind of sit higher up, I'm like, if they house flood, it's a wrap on it. It's a wrap on the city, We just gonna have to move to a whole nother state. Now let's get to people reaching out, man. So I appreciated my bruh Justin for reaching out, because like I told him, and I did a post about this after I got through the storm, and and afterward, okay, before I get to that. So the storm happens, and the next day we go outside, man, huge mango tree my parents had. It was a great mango tree too. I'm talking about, if you like mangoes, bruh, I'm talking about people from the city was coming through just to steal mangoes off my parents' tree. That's how good this mango tree was. That completely blew over, knocked down some of the fence, my parents' fence, and man, literally power lines on the ground. My grandma stayed across the street, and so I went to go check on her house, and just you just seeing trees and down power lines, but luckily no flooding. But it was dangerous out there, man. So we had to go check on our house. So me and my wife, we drove down to our part of town, and we had to literally go all around because there were so many trees blocking the streets. We had to find new ways to get to our house. It was wild. It was wild, man. So the pool, was green, tree limbs. Our fence was blown down. It was pretty devastating, man. And I can only imagine people that lost their houses. And this was the surprising part. I don't know how many people lost their houses. I haven't seen, because that's the other thing. My phone went out. So I never did, to this day, didn't really see the devastation that Milton caused, because my phone stopped working. So I really couldn't get on the internet. I could barely get on social media. Like if I was in my house, I could get on social media, but we had no power over there. So I had to go back to my parents' house. I go back to my parents' house, and my phone not working because of the towers, T-Mobile. So anyway, so I don't know the devastation that Milton did in Sarasota or Fort Myers or any of these other cities, because I didn't get to see the news after it happened, because the power was out and my phone wasn't working. I'm in LA right now. So anyways, man, so it was pretty devastating. So after I made it through all of that, I started to really think, man, it was so many people DMing me. Man, I hope you all right, man. Just checking on you. Did you leave? Did you get through it? Before, during, and after the storm. Shout out to Meredith. Anybody know Meredith? Her and her husband and her daughter was checking in on me from MacGyver. But it was a good amount of people. But then you start to think about the people that didn't hit you up. And you like, well, god dang. I'm like, now y'all know damn well I got a crib in Florida. Y'all know I'm the only comedian really, from the Tampa Bay area. It's like me and Burt Kreischer. And I don't know who else is from. I'm sure there might be other comedians from the Tampa Bay area, but it ain't that many of us. And I'm like, well, dang. Like, I thought we was cool. We say we boys or home girls or whatever. I ain't hearing from you. And I'm like, I know you see in the post. Cause some people you can see. Some people look at your IG story, but they ain't like saying you okay. Maybe because they saw the IG story, they're like, well, he alive, he okay. But then other people is just like, bruh, chick, So you start thinking about, damn, man, you start to see who really care about you, who really, really care about you. And then you see the people that really don't give a damn about you. They just voyeurs. It's a lot of people that's just voyeurs. They're not even supporters. They don't care. They're not really invested in you or your safety or your well-being. They're just following you just to see what happens. It's like the Truman Show. They don't care if you live or you die. They just like, and so that kind of made me feel a certain type of way. So when I got through, I made a little post and I was like, man, you really see when a hurricane is coming towards the city that you live in, you really see the people that really care for you. And I said, thank you, Lord, for the clarity. Clarity is the most underappreciated, undervalued virtue ever. People don't really talk about clarity. Man, when you have clarity, bro, when God really shows you something and you like, wow, you can finally see, oh, who really mess with you? Who really don't mess with you? Who say they mess with you? Who say they mess with you, but the intentions aren't pure? Because low key they're looking out for themselves. It ain't pure. Some people hit you up, but they don't really give a shit. They just doing it because they know one day down the road they gonna need something. So that's why they really hitting you. They don't really give a shit about you. The funniest thing is like too many people think they're smarter than other people. That's the problem with the world. Too many people, they're like, I'm smarter. Too many people read The Art of War or 48 Laws of Power, and they really think they are like using these tactics, and that's why they're going to get ahead in life. And that ain't the way the universe really work, man. That ain't the way karma really work. I don't know. And my karma ain't great either. I ain't the best person. I know I done fucked up. Still, I know I'm fucked it. I know I done fucked up. So, and that's an everyday struggle to try to work on yourself, try to better yourself, treat the people around you better, but people, I know I'm going on a tangent, but people feel like they could outsmart you, outthink you, get over on you, and you really start to see who really fuck with you when your life is in danger. And then there's some people that hit me up. I did that post on social media, like, man, you can really tell who really mess with you. Some people hit me up afterwards and was like, damn, my bad, Jay. My bad, Jay. I'm like, am I even recording? Let me see if I'm even recording this. Am I even recording? Let me see. Oh, okay. I'm recording. I'm using my fancy camera. That my mama bought me for Christmas. And I was like, am I even recording this shit? But and I'm not cutting that out either. Fuck that, man. Y'all see how this shit really works. It's a real deal. I don't even know what the hell I was talking about. But you see who really care about you best. So shout out to all the people that hit me up. Shout out to all the people that hit me up with pure intentions. And guess what? At the end of the day, even if someone hit me up and it wasn't with pure intentions, they still hit me up. That's still better than people that did hit me. Oh, this is what I was about to say. Some people called me afterwards, or I seen them at the club last night, the comedy club. They're like, man, my bad, Jay, man. I thought you was in Atlanta. I forgot you sold your crib in Atlanta, and I wasn't even thinking, damn, you down in St. Pete. You down in Tampa Bay area. So my fault, man. So shout out to those comics and people because a lot of people seen that post, and they'll act like they didn't see that shit, or they ain't know, and they just know. They don't really fuck with your boy like that. And I see it. And it's cool, but it's a shit I already knew. Now, what was most surprising is seeing the people that do fuck with you. It was some people that DM me. I'm talking about prominent people that wasn't just regular, people that's been following my journey along the way, and I didn't respond to everybody, but The point is they reached out and let me know that they was thinking about me. So shout out to all them people too, man. I appreciate you. I seen them. And I'm thankful for y'all because I know y'all the ones that really rock with your boy, man. So, hopefully today the power get back on at my parents' house, in the internet, in mobile service, because like I said, it's been almost a week and we're still dealing with that recovery. And like I said, I can only imagine people that had to deal with that doing like, Katrina, Helene, all these other devastating hurricanes, and they had to deal with flooding on top of everything else. So we were spared, and, I always keep saying, man, it could have been worse. It could have been worse, but our house is still there. Got a little leak, couple fences down at the multifamily property and at our house. But other than that, man, we okay. We all survived. We alive. We was able to bond as a family, me and my niece and my daughter and my parents and my wife. We was all gathered together and making jokes, along the way and trying to stay alive, man. So that's kind of like the Hurricane Milton. So, fuck all the Miltons out there now and forever. Man, make sure y'all like, subscribe, share this with somebody if you care. And I'm out, man. I'm finna get back to interviewing some celebs. I don't know if it's gonna be on the Fuck Your Feelings page. It might be on the Urban Legends page. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I finally got my studio set up in the crib at the apartment, so I'm good to go now. I got the curtains, and you can hear the blinds behind. I got the curtains, and I got the couch. I got the lights. I got the camera, and all I need now is continued content and support. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.